What's that 1 mana? You basically lose like 2 life. But yeah, look at that tempo swing. So now if they ask us to sacrifice something, Greedy Freebooter for sure is the one that can go. Yes! Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to another MTG Arena Standard video. Today, we've joined the dark side because we're playing Unholy Anex. So you know we're playing with some demons, but I am bringing a few new demons into the mix. I'll start off with, the classic culprits. Bloodletter of Aclazotz might be one of the best demons in this deck because it says if an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. So if you go Unholy Anex on turn 3, you guys already know that you get the card draw with it and you lose 2 life. But if you control a demon, then you actually gain 2 life and the opponent loses 2 life. Of course, with Bloodletter of Aclazotz, they would be losing 4 life then, which is just such a good combo. That is, of course, turn 3 Annex into turn 4 Bloodletter. The other pretty standard demon for this deck is this new Rot-Curse Rakshasa from the Tarkir Dragonstorm set. It's a 2-mana demon. This one, it's a 5/5, which for 2 mana, you might think that's pretty busted, but he does have the Decayed mechanic, which says if a creature with Decayed, first of all, they can't block, and if they were to attack, you would have to sacrifice it at the end of combat. So I guess your ideal curve would be turn 2 Rakshasa into Unholy Anex into the Bloodletter of Aclazotz. So that's kind of your standard Unholy Anex demon package. I am running a few new demons that I just don't see that often. One of them, also for 2 mana, which also helps with that curve again, is the Thraxodemon. It's just 2 mana for a 2/2. Not really much else to him. And then I am trying out this Infernal Vessel. This is a human cleric for 3 mana. He's a 2/1. But if this creature were to die, he actually comes back to the battlefield as a demon in addition to his other types as well. So that's a way to get a demon on the battlefield. And then on our very, very, very top end for 9 mana, we have Valgavoth, Terror Eater. He's an elder demon. I like this art a lot. You can kind of see his hands right there. They look kind of small in comparison to his body. Reminds me of that one movie, Scary Movie, where they're kind of in that haunted house and there's the butler who's like, take my strong hand. If you guys know that, you're a legend. Let me know in the comments if you guys do know that what I'm referencing right now. But yeah, Valgavoth is a demon as well for 9 mana. He is a 9/9, so I don't know how much life draining will be relevant with Unholy Anex just because Valgavoth is just such a threat in and of himself as well. But then another demon that honestly I'm not sure anyone has ever played him against me. I know I tried him back in the day, but it is for 8 mana. It's the Bringer of the Last Gift. And look at this vampire demon. He is completely dripped out. He's got his gold suit on, big belt buckle with like a demon or dragon head on it. He's got his ice chain. And yeah, this creature says when this creature enters, if you cast it, and we'll put an asterisk next to that, I'll come back to that in a second. If you cast it, each player sacrifices all the creatures they control, and then they get to bring all creatures from their graveyard back to the battlefield. So what you might notice in this deck is we're not actually playing any removal. That's to kind of hope that the opponent builds up a really big board, and then we can cast Bringer of the Last Gift. That will make them sacrifice all their creatures, and hopefully by that point, I mean, people are running so much removal in Standard, so hopefully some of our cheap creatures and, sort of low-end demons get removed, so when we do cast Bringer of the Last Gift, we can hopefully bring all of our creatures back from the graveyard as well, which would be an insane tempo swing. It would be really awesome if we could pull it off. So yeah, this Bringer of the Last Gift, he does combo very nicely with the Unholy Anex. We are playing a little bit of graveyard reanimation. We have 4 copies of Zombify, just in case we want to bring anything back from the graveyard. And then I actually also want to try out this Funeral Room. I don't think I've ever seen someone play this card either, so I want to try and give it a shot. For 3 mana, it comes in as an enchantment, the Funeral Room side, and it's kind of like a budget meat hook massacre. Whenever a creature we control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and we gain 1 life. And then we can spend 8 mana to unlock it, and we get the Awakening Hall, which says when you unlock this door, return all creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield. So it's kind of like the Bringer of the Last Gift as well. But yeah, that's another way to get some of our creatures back from the graveyard. And then, yeah, we have the Collector's Vault, just to draw a card and then discard a card, just because, like I said, if we do have a Valgavoth in our hand, we wouldn't mind dropping him off into the graveyard just to try and reanimate him with a Zombify. Same thing with the Bringer of the Last Gift. I mean, a flying 6/6, pretty good stats. So hopefully we can reanimate him as well. And that's where I said earlier, we're going to put an asterisk next to his text where it says, if you cast this spell. So if we reanimate him, that doesn't count as casting him, so then we would not get the trigger of each opponent sacrifices all the creatures. But yeah, that's more or less the deck. Just to round it out, we have the Qarsi Revenant, also from the Tarkir Dragonstorm set. I know he's not a demon, does kind of look like one, but he is a vampire with flying, death touch, and lifelink. And he has the renewed mechanic where we can give flying, death touch, and lifelink to one of our creatures if this guy is in the graveyard. And then finally, we have the Greedy Freebooter, just I think a really nice 1-drop. Can use him to block. We don't mind if he dies because we get a Scry 1 and create a treasure token, so it helps ramp a little bit. So yeah, it's just a very simple mono black deck. We're trying out these swamps today. They look pretty interesting. I just chose them because, to me, it looks like they have a demon right there, at least a skeleton of a demon. So yeah, let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. All right, we get to go first, which is really nice. Just need to find our Unholy Anex. But yeah, Greedy Freebooter into nothing. I guess we can just smack the opponent. Alright, I think they're going to be the Pixie Bounce deck, which I'm not sure we can beat them. Unholy Anex is a really nice draw, though, so this does get around the discard a little bit. Bringer of the Last Gift is also really nice. If we can work our way up to 8 mana, we'd be able to bring back all of our creatures. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get down the Bloodletter just to be mana efficient. And a Funeral Room. So yeah, like I said, it's just the Pixie Bounce deck, which does really suck for us. 4 or 5. We're going to be up to 6 mana. A Funeral Room, not what we need right now. Yeah, I don't want to sacrifice the treasure token. Land is a great draw. So yeah, we're up to 7 mana right now. So next turn we can actually deploy both of the Funeral Rooms. And then if they keep making us sacrifice our creature, which is just what they're going to keep doing with this. So this might be my least favorite combo in Standard right now. Yeah, I mean, it is really good, but all right. Let's go ahead, unlock this one right now just to have a blocker. And yeah, we will be up to 8 mana next turn. So I think we're going to do it to him, which is going to feel so nice. Then yeah, that stupid scroll shift or bounce or whatever is, I'm going to have, well, only 3 creatures in the graveyard. Pixie Bounce. All right. We are down to 5 though. And I would not be surprised if they had that, what's that 1 mana? You basically lose like 2 life. But yeah, look at that tempo swing. So now if they ask us to sacrifice something, Greedy Freebooter for sure is the one that can go. Yes! Okay, guys, I have to do it to him. Like I said, I hate the Pixie Bounce deck. Tell him to keep your backhand strong, and bam! Bounce that back to your hand, baby. Let's go. All right, we got to go first, and look at this hand. That is an instant keep if I've ever seen one. So yeah, turn 2 Rakshasa into turn 3 Unholy Anex. Such a nice curve. Do see an island though, so opponent might have some bounce spells. They could of course have some counter spells. We see a Get Lost immediately. I'm glad they used that on Rakshasa instead of our Unholy Anex. I drew a Bloodletter for turn 4, yo. See a Maze Mind Tome. So yeah, Bloodletter for sure. Opponent going to Scry. They do keep it to the top. Might be a board wipe. Draw another land, which I'm not complaining about. It's another Get Lost. Into a pass the turn. I'm going to go ahead and get down the Thraxodemon. So yeah, that's just a draw from our opponent. I'm actually going to get down the Funeral Room, just so when they do start removing our creatures, they will start losing life for that. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a Sunfall, though. So I actually don't want to commit too many creatures to the board. Alright, their third Get Lost in the top 15 cards of their deck. You love to see that. So we're down to just one spell per turn. Then let's just pump this guy to the moon. I will pump him all the way up to 7. And then I will play the Greedy Freebooter, and I'm just going to really hope that they don't have a Sunfall. Alright, that is their spell for turn. I think we just got them because Rakshasa is just going to go ahead and say, buddy, you cannot block. And I don't think they can counter that. And then let's just pump up our guy. I will keep a Zombify, so... So they do gain 4 life for that, so they are just barely alive right now. And let's hope, beyond hope, that it's not a Sunfall. But that one, yeah, that's not enough because, yeah, they can't block with their guy. If they kill our creature, then they lose 2 life for that. Yes, we got there. Yeah, that was kind of a checkmate. So there you guys saw how good Rakshasa can be. And honestly, I am kind of liking this Funeral Room just because, yeah, there is just so much removal in Standard right now. And I guess I will say thank you for all those get lost, Van Izzle Mage. GG, boy. Alright, we will go first. And I will keep this hand, just because we have the Collector's Vault. Can honestly maybe help us ramp up to Valgavoth. We'll see what we draw along the way, though. Ooh, Zombify is amazing, so we can actually next turn drop off Valgavoth, and then the turn after that reanimate him. And that might be really difficult for the opponent to deal with. So Selesnya. So far from our opponent with an Iron Crag, so they might be trying to ramp up to Mr. Ugin. Let's go ahead and play this one. Let's crack the vault, see what we draw. It's a land. I will drop off. What do I drop off, actually? I'll drop off the land, honestly, just because we... Oh, I'm an idiot. I should have dropped off Valgavoth. Hey. Alright, it's fine. I thought we were trying to ramp into Valgavoth, but... Another Zombify. Alright, so yeah, you already know. We are dropping off Valgavoth. And then... Do we get down the demon? Let's do it. Smack the opponent for 1. This Thraxodemon should technically be a Valgavoth, but that's my mistake. Another up the beanstalk, so I guess now if they do have a removal spell, they can sacrifice those 3 non-land permanents to get rid of our boy, but he'll just be coming right back because we have 2 Zombifies, which is amazing. They have their own Collector's Vault. We draw our own land, which is nice. Don't need to use our treasure token. And let's go ahead and smack in for 3. I think the opponent maybe missed a land drop. Alright, that really sucks, but at least that's their turn gone, and we can just do it again. Let's hope they don't have another board wipe, but I have a feeling they probably do. They have a full grip of cards. Yeah, so here's where Funeral Room would be really nice. It's just another up the beanstalk, so looking for some card draw. I guess they could have some removal. They do have a few things that they could sack. Yes, they had nothing, so we got there in the end with Valgavoth. GG, boy. Alright, we get to go first. This is a phenomenal hand. We have turn 1 Freebooter into turn 2 Thraxodemon into turn 3 Unholy Anex. I'm scared of all these demons that I have. Ooh, and we even drew the Funeral Room. I've actually been liking this card so far that I've been playing with it. Can that destroy enchantments? No, it's just a little bit of ramp. Exile a card from a graveyard. They might be the Insidious Roots deck. But let's just attack with our Thraxodemon. And we drew a Zombify, which is really nice. They have a Qarsi Revenant. We have that guy in our deck as well. Does kind of suck because it does have life gain. We can't really attack through right now. But we did draw a Bloodletter. Let's go. So now we can attack. No, we can't attack. But yeah, that's draining the opponent for 4. Hopefully they still have no removal, because I think we will go with the funeral room next turn. They do just attack through, so that's a big no blocks from us. Sacrifice another creature. So they do have 2 mana. They're going to sacrifice that boy. They get to surveil. They don't want the tangled colony of rats. We can attack over the top, though. Oh, no. Okay, return to the battlefield. Yeah, so that was a nice combo from the opponent, but do we just go with the Awakening Hall? Let's think. Awakening Hall into Collector's Vault. I think that sounds like a good plan. And then, yeah, just keep draining them for 4. Of course, that is negated by their Qarsi Revenant. Yeah, so no attacks from us. Drain them for 4 again. We gain 2 life. It's another Zombify. Opponent has missed a few land drops, which does suck for them. They finally do hit their 4th land drop. Molt Tender can, of course, add mana for them. They do choose to attack. Big no blocks from us. Can they just do that whenever? Oh, activate only once each turn. Yeah, so I guess you could sacrifice him and then maybe bring him back with a recommission. But they can't do that forever. It's another one of those guys. Okay. Let's just go ahead and drop off the Greedy Freebooter. Actually, I think we get rid of the land right now. Sacrifice another creature and draw a card. I will go ahead and do that. So we get a Scry, we get a treasure token. I really don't think we need another Zombify game. You need to give me something to put into the graveyard. Yeah, so that counts as a creature dying. And so we're going to drain them again. So they are down to 8. They will be gaining 7 life, though. But yeah, we are up to 8 mana, so if we can find our... what's it called? Bringer of the Last Gift. Well, I don't think we'd win, but could at least get rid of all of these creatures on the board. Alright, I really hope we can find our Bringer of the Last Gift, because these guys are getting quite annoying right now. So let's go ahead and activate this one. It's our own. Let's go ahead and drop off a land. Let's go ahead and play our own guy. We do have 9 mana, so again, I'm just going to do this. We are just going to keep digging for our answer, because he is in our deck. So we get some Scry Rakshasa. Can, of course, give those guys Decayed. But I don't think it's what we want right now, so... And then, yeah, drain them for 2 and draw a card. We haven't played a land for turn. I will just go ahead and play the Infernal Vessel. Can use him as sacrifice fodder for our Thraxodemon. No attacks from us. We get another card draw and drain the opponent for 4. Another Collector's Vault. Alright, they don't have the Harmonize. I will definitely trade my 3/3 for their 4/4. They do lose 2 life for that, and we gain 1 life. Opponent down to 4 cards in hand. Start Your Engines is going crazy right now. I think it's our opponent's turn. I don't really know what we're waiting for. They can't harmonize. I think it might be this Zahur. Glory's Past. Yeah, it is their go, so there we go. They do have max speed. They're gonna create a black zombie token. Oh, come on, opponent. What do you want to do? Oh my gosh. Of course, they found another one. I really hope we can find our Bringer of the Last Gift. Come on, deck. I will get down that one. Do we play Collector's Vault? Or do we get down Rakshasa? Honestly, I think we might soon need to actually create a demon ourselves. We haven't played a land this turn. So 6. We do have 7 mana. Alright, I am going to create a demon. And I actually will play Rakshasa. Could, of course, give everyone Decayed pretty soon as well. And yeah, drain them for 4. Oh man, we found all 4 Zombifies, I'm pretty sure, because we threw into the bottom, yeah, before we found our Bringer of the Last Gift. Or our Valgavoth. Even though we do only have 2 of those each in our deck, so maybe not that crazy. Even though I am nearly halfway through my deck, so you'd think that we could maybe find one of them. It's 9 damage. Can I afford to take 9 damage? We will be gaining 1 life. I just hope that if I, or when I find my... I think we do have to block, though. When I find the Bringer of the Last Gift, I don't want them to have too many creatures coming back to the battlefield. Opponent has a pretty nice combo going on. Pretty crazy that they had 2 Nature's Rhythm. They're just finding all of these guys. So they're up to 23 because they gained 9 from that. This guy comes back as a demon. Could, of course, give some of our guys flying as well. They just have 1 card in hand. And that's only as a sorcery. They put that back into our... Oh, I don't know why they gave up. Alright, that was pretty weird. They did return those to their hand. They did have 2 creatures to block with. Yeah, I honestly don't know why he gave up. That was a good game. He had a pretty nice, interesting deck. We had a bunch of Zombifies that were just totally useless for our... completely useless right now. So Collector's Vault was really going to have to draw into something to discard it. But hey, yeah, victory's a victory. Alright, opponent goes first, which is unfortunate, but we do have turn 2 into turn 3. Play. Let's hope they don't have too many sheltered by ghosts. They are a life gain deck, though. Oh, this might be pretty hard for us to keep up with. Honestly, kind of need to hope we can find our Bringer of the Last Gift. Alright, so Unholy Anex for sure is our play. No attacks from us. Alright, deck, that's enough lands. I don't get why they're not attacking with their other creatures. I wonder if they realize that Rakshasa cannot actually block, which is pretty funny. So yeah, now they do just attack all. I will trade with this little bunny. So this guy comes back as a demon. They get to scry. I think we will go with the funeral room. Oh, we got the Bringer of the Last Gift. Let's go. We just need to ramp up into it now. So we will go with the funeral room. And we will go with a go for the throat. So we're only up to 5. I'm going to go ahead and say no attacks right now. Another Unholy Anex. Really nice draw. Just for the life gain, honestly. Just because they're honestly not doing too much damage to us right now. And yeah, opponent's down to just 1 card in hand. I think it'll be a pretty big blowout when we can play Bringer of the Last Gift. So we just need to stay alive until then. We do have a go for the throat, so... They do convoke that creature. Honestly, fine by me. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value less than 4. Yo. Are those both creatures? They are. They can play both of them this turn. Aye deck. Alright, we're really gonna need well, I guess this will make Bringer of the Last Gift all that much sweeter, but yeah, we're up to 6. Aw. All right, I will go with a... You know what? Let's actually unlock this one. I think we'll need as many blockers as we can get. Not that Rakshasa can block, but cut down is a nice draw. 5, 6. This is going to be land number 7, so... I think we know what our target is. There is no way that creature can stay alive. Absolutely no way that that creature can stay alive. Oh my gosh, that honestly kind of crazy. I'm honestly fine with that. So 6, 7. All right, let's get rid of this one and I guess this guy. Alright, they do get a scry. We really need a land. Honestly, some kill spells would be kind of nice. Zombify, really not what we're looking for. So we will go with Unholy Anex. Are we just dead though? 2? Nah, because we're going to be gaining quite a bit of life. So we'll go with Rakshasa, and we really need to hope we draw a land. So no attacks from us, end turn. Come on, land. Please, please land. Yes. All right, we got them. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. So one card in hand. Absolutely not. 100% you're not playing a Sheltered by Ghosts on us, and I think... How much damage is that? Let's just block one of the cat tokens, because that one's not coming back from the graveyard. Alright, so we're down to 6. And they have... Oh, they do have this creature coming back, though. They do have some kind of good creatures coming back, which does suck. Just that Ajani that he grows so quickly, which is so annoying. All right, but for us, we have to attack with everyone. So our Rakshasa gonna go bye-bye. Let them get sacrificed. So they lose life for that as well. And then we can play the Bringer of the Last Gift. Go ahead and clear the board. Alright, yes. The stupid Ajani's Pride, mate. Alright, we do have the Bringer of the Last Gift that we can block with. And we do have some card draw. Alright, that's, but yeah, he's not coming back to the battlefield. Dude, this Ajani is so annoying. Alright, so we're down to 9. This guy comes back. Cut down really doesn't do anything for us. So I think what we have to do is attack with Rakshasa. And then we can only block one of them. 7, 8. That's only 8 damage getting through. 1, 2, 3. Those 3. Can have a decayed counter put on them, and then we can go ahead and end the turn. Another Unholy Anex, another Zombify. Let's get rid of that rabbit. Ay, Johnny is so insanely annoying. Alright, they do all have decayed. Alright, well, we're blocking that one for sure. Alright, they lose all the creatures. I think we're finally getting there. I think we are finally getting there. Yes. Wow, that was a slugfest. Even the Bringer of the Last Gift. When did we put a Johnny in the graveyard? Because that was maybe a mistake, yeah. But yeah, because we wiped the board, and honestly, we maybe even gave them a better board state. So, But yeah, like I said, we finally turned the battlefield. Or, yeah, turned the game around. They were basically just in top deck mode. Still had 11 life. Going to have 10 mana this turn. So we could have flipped this Unholy Anex and dropped this one on them. So then they'd be drained for 6 each turn. We'd gain 6 life ourselves, draw 3 cards, and then honestly, maybe unlock the Awakening Hall the turn after that to get back 2 creatures, I guess. So anyways, GG. Hey there, neighbor, and we're back with the post-game wrap, and those were some pretty fun games, but I will say that this Unholy Anex package that I went with, where we're trying to run some of these top-end demons like Bringer of the Last Gift and Valgavoth, it's really not that good. It is a lot of fun when you can play a Valgavoth maybe you can reanimate him. That always feels nice, but you know, if you want to reanimate creatures, there's decks that do that a lot better than this one. And if you want to play out the Bringer of the Last Gift, that is a lot of fun. And I think in two games we were able to pull it off. I think one of them was actually the first game we played. Massive tempo swing if the opponents don't have much in their graveyard. I think in the game that you guys just saw against the mono white life gain, we cleared the board from all their creatures, but I think the few creatures we brought back from their graveyard were maybe better than the creatures they had on the battlefield. So yeah, in that sense, it didn't work out that well. But yeah, he's still a fun card to try. Maybe if maybe you want to play the Ghost Vacuum. That actually might be a card that you would want to play. Play the Ghost Vacuum, so every turn, let's just search it up. Ghost, yeah. Let's put that one in the sideboard. Maybe you want to play the Ghost Vacuum just so you can get it down on turn 1, and then if you do put creatures in the graveyard, you can start exiling them with the Ghost Vacuum. I think you could also play that Black Leyline, where if stuff gets put into their graveyard, it goes into exile instead. Those might be better build-arounds for Bringer of the Last Gift. Like I said, though, I wanted to try them out in the Unholy Annex, like the demon package. And yeah, it's fun, but it's really not that competitive. I think I even said in the last game, maybe the last 2 games, I did change the deck a little bit. I took out Greedy Freebooter and maybe 1 Collector's Vault and maybe 1 Thraxodemon just to include some early game removal. Go for the Throat, of course, you can use at any point in the game. But yeah, we were just, with no interaction early game, we were really just getting run over by too many creatures. So I think this is a little bit better. But yeah, if you guys do want to run the Unholy Anex, just go with the traditional demon package. That deck is so good. A lot better than this one. One card I will say, maybe Secret MVP. Nah, not Secret MVP, for sure not. But I actually did really like this Funeral Room. Did remind me a lot of the Meat Hook Massacre, especially if you can get a lot of creatures onto the battlefield. So I'm actually thinking of building a deck that is focused solely on just Funeral Room itself. So I'm brewing something up. So keep your eyes out for that. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying the videos, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. In the comments, you can leave a suggestion for any card or deck that you'd like to see me try out. I'd be more than happy to do that for you guys. And I'm just going to end it like I always end it. I love you guys. Peace out.